The day gravity broke. A world without ground. The morning began like any other. Commuters crowded the streets of bustling cities, children laughed as they played in parks, and planes crisscrossed the skies. But then it happened. A ripple, subtle at first, barely noticeable. People walking to work stumbled as if the ground had become unsteady. Drinks slid off tables as gravity seemed to falter momentarily, drawing nervous laughter from some and confused looks from others. The laughter quickly faded. Within moments, everything, people, cars, even the smallest objects began to lift off the ground. At first it was slow, surreal. A coffee cup floated gently off a desk, then a chair, and finally the person sitting in it. Panic erupted as the realization set in. The force that anchored humanity to the earth had vanished. From their windows, those still inside buildings watched in horror as the streets transformed into chaos. Vehicles floated into the air like balloons, some colliding with each other, others spinning uncontrollably. People screamed as they rose higher and higher, clutching at lampposts, trees, or anything still connected to the ground. Above it all loomed the source of the catastrophe. A glowing rift in the sky, pulsating with an otherworldly light. It seemed to tear through the fabric of reality, its edges shimmering with golden energy that spilled into the atmosphere like liquid fire. A world untethered. Scientists scrambled to explain the unexplainable. Emergency broadcasts filled the airwaves with fragmented information. A spatial anomaly, possibly a quantum disturbance. No known cause. Satellite footage revealed that the rift had appeared over the Atlantic Ocean, stretching hundreds of miles wide and growing larger by the minute. In homes, schools, and offices, people tied themselves to furniture, walls, and each other, trying to resist the pull. But as the minutes passed, it became clear that nothing was safe. Entire buildings began to lift off their foundations, groaning under the strain. Skyscrapers tilted, their glass facades shattering as they ascended into the sky. Amidst the chaos, personal stories unfolded. Clara, a 9-year-old girl, clung to a light post as her mother floated several feet above her, their hands inches apart. "Clara, don't let go!" her mother screamed, her face etched with terror. The child sobbed as her grip weakened, her small hands slipping against the smooth metal. Elsewhere, a group of construction workers tied themselves to a crane, watching helplessly as their equipment floated away. In a suburban neighborhood, a man frantically filled his pockets with rocks, hoping the extra weight would keep him grounded. The rift's reach. While humanity struggled to stay grounded, the rift continued to grow, its golden light bathing the planet in an eerie glow. Astronomers reported that the anomaly was affecting not just Earth, but also the Moon and nearby satellites. The International Space Station, initially untouched by the disturbance, suddenly found itself spiraling toward the rift's epicenter. World governments convened emergency meetings, but communication was spotty as infrastructure collapsed. In the United States, the president delivered a final address from an underground bunker. "We face an unprecedented crisis," she said, her voice heavy with fear. "But we will not give up. Humanity has overcome impossible odds before, and we will again." A desperate mission. Amid the despair, a glimmer of hope emerged. A team of scientists led by Dr. Elena Narvaez had been working on experimental propulsion technology at a military space station. These devices, designed for space exploration, now held the key to approaching the rift. Dr. Narvaez's plan was audacious. Her team would deploy devices to disrupt the anomaly's gravitational field, forcing it to collapse. "We don't know if this will work," she admitted during a hastily organized briefing, "but it's our only chance." Equipped with personal propulsion suits, the team launched into the air, navigating the chaotic skies filled with debris, vehicles, and terrified civilians. The journey to the rift was perilous. One pilot was struck by a floating car and lost control, disappearing into the golden void. Another was forced to eject as their propulsion unit failed, leaving them to drift helplessly. As the team neared the rift, the true scale of the phenomenon became clear. The tear wasn't just a hole in the sky, it was a bridge to another dimension. Through its shimmering surface, glimpses of an alien landscape could be seen, towering structures that defied physics, rivers of light, and shadowy figures watching from the other side. The collapse. Dr. Narvaez and her remaining team activated the devices, each one emitting a pulse that disrupted the rift's energy field. The golden light dimmed, and the pull of gravity began to return. But the process was unstable. The rift pulsed violently, sending shockwaves across the sky. One by one, the devices failed, forcing the team to improvise. "I'll finish it," Narvaez shouted, propelling herself directly into the rift with the final device. Her colleagues begged her to stop, but it was too late. With a blinding flash, the rift collapsed, and Dr. Narvaez disappeared. A changed world. When the light faded, gravity returned, but not evenly. Some regions experienced weaker gravitational pull, causing people to float slightly with every step. Other areas were crushed under intense gravity, turning cities into flattened wastelands. The global death toll was staggering, and survivors struggled to adapt to a world forever changed. In the months that followed, humanity rebuilt as best it could, but questions lingered. What had caused the rift? What were the shadowy figures glimpsed on the other side? And perhaps most hauntingly, would it happen again? The day gravity broke became a defining moment in human history, a stark reminder of how fragile life on Earth truly is, and how little we understand about the universe we call home. What would you do in a world without gravity? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more stories that explore the edges of science and imagination.